Series, racing from Kansas Speedway this week. I'm your host, Mountaineer_17. So tonight we'll have, I think, 7 drivers from Kansas. Track 1.5 miles, high banks. Everybody's going to be running the high side. We're going to have fly jobs. Should be a fun time. The Hooters Truck Series, as always, is presented by Big Ten Racing, of which I am a member. The Big Ten Racing League concluded its first season last Friday at Homestead. You can see the stream on this YouTube channel. It was a fun one. You know, spoiler alert, Mountaineer_17 was the champion. So, anyway, Hooters Truck Series. We have a 167 lap, 250 mile race coming tonight. Stages will go 40 laps, and then 87 laps to finish this race. These drivers will get 22 to 25 laps of fuel, which will lead to 1 stop needed in Stage 1, 1 stop needed in Stage 2, and then 3 stops needed in Stage 3. The tire wear here will be about medium tire wear, I'd say. It's definitely not as bad as like an Atlanta or even as bad as a Dover, but still going to see tire wear matter here. On the pole will be Ruby the 1818, the Daytona winner, one of our 4 winners that are competing tonight. Or sorry, only 3 winners competing tonight. We've had 4 winners overall. And he is joined on the front row by P. Colligator in the 87 truck. So in this race, you'll have Ruby and P. Colligator, the Biscuit, who won at Dover earlier this season. You'll have Extra Seasoning, who sits tied for 3rd in points. Hopefully we'll get Scotty D 2020 in there as well. Raceworks and Ratliff. We'll have Colligator in the 87, Ruby in the 32, Biscuit is in the 98, Seasoning in the 51, Scotty D drives the 10, Raceworks in the 20, and Ratliff is in the 99 truck. So what I'm expecting here tonight, like I said, everybody's going to be running the outside. Everybody's going to be trying to pull slide jobs. Basically, I think it'll be whoever can keep their truck out of the wall, whoever can avoid mistakes getting on and off pit road, that's who's going to come out the winner. So, my favorites for tonight, you have to look out for P. Colligator, who has 2 wins this season, including a 1.5-mile race at Atlanta. We're at a 1.5 miles at Kansas. It makes sense for him. You've got to watch out for Biscuit, who really, really likes long runs, which that last stage, it should be a very, very long run. And then Ruby, who has shown speed at every single race that this series has done so far, and won at Daytona. So we're going to be missing tonight Scotty Jr. 77, the commissioner of the league, and also the Talladega winner. He had a personal issue to keep him out tonight, which, unfortunate, but that's just how it goes. An overall look at our season, P. Colligator is the points leader. He also leads with 2 wins, with 39 stage points, and with 4 stage wins. And then, of course, playoff points. He's the leader there with 14 playoff points. Ruby is only a couple points behind him in the standings, and sitting in 2nd place with 1 win and 6 playoff points. Scotty Jr., he is 3rd in the standings with 1 win and 5 playoff points. Then there's Seasoning tied with Scotty in points, but does not yet have a win, and does not have any playoff points. Then the Biscuit is 4th in playoff points. He's missed a couple races. 4th in points, sorry. He is actually 2nd in playoff points with 1 win and 2 stage wins this season. But like I said, he's missed a couple races, so that's why he's sitting 4th in points. And then there's D44 and Scotty D tied in 6th in the points, but D44 not racing tonight will Hopefully, if Scotty D makes it, we'll give him an advantage in points. Then Raceworks, Bubba Chafin, who's missing this race, and Ratliff. And why is this important? Because we only have, I believe, 3 races to go until the playoffs.
Scotty Jr. said he's 24 is going to be racing tonight.
Alright, sounds good, man. Thanks.
So we're waiting to get him in the lobby and then we'll get you up.
Alright, and my in-race reporter tonight, Ruby the One, just sent me an important update that Scotty Jr. will be able to make the race. So the winner last week at Talladega, the commissioner of the league, he'll be in here tonight, and he'll definitely be somebody to watch out for, contending for the win. Like I said, he sits tied for 3rd in the points. So I don't know about Scotty D, but we do have Scotty Jr. at least. He'll be in the 24 truck. So we have, after Kansas, we'll be at Texas next week, then Richmond and Darlington. Darlington will be the cutoff race before the playoffs. So these guys who have wins, they just want to rack up as many playoff points as they can. These guys who haven't won yet, they want to win and lock themselves in. And now it looks like Scotty's running into the game update that came out today. So we could be a few more minutes here. So anyway, if you want to check out some more racing, this YouTube channel has races from the Big Ten Racing League, which just completed its inaugural season. We will start up the new season the last week of October. We will feature an Xfinity series as well, which will run on Wednesday nights, and then the Cup Series will continue to run on Friday nights. So October 28th, we'll have the first Xfinity race from Daytona, and then that will be followed on Thursday the 29th with Cup racing, the Clash at Daytona, and followed by the Duels at Daytona. The Clash will be an exhibition race, with the Duels setting the starting order for the Daytona 500, which will be on Friday, October 30th. The defending champion of the Daytona 500, Team Jeter 2, driving the number 24, who used to be my co-broadcaster. Also, those Xfinity races, they will be broadcast by a crew of Team Jeter 2, Extra Vinegar, who you've seen compete in this series, and Conky 22, who is another driver from the Big Ten Racing Series. Big Ten Racing Series also represented tonight by Ruby the One 818, Scotty Jr. 77, and Extra Seasoning, who will be driving the 51 truck tonight. They're all in the Cup Series, and we're all fairly fast drivers during the regular season. So right now we're just going to wait on Scotty to join. Looks like we're only a few minutes away from that. We'll have Ruby the One as the in-race reporter tonight due to Scotty showing up late. And hopefully get a good finish out of our in-race reporter. I don't think an in-race reporter has won yet, so we're going to root for that one tonight. So again, 167 laps, 250 miles, a long Kansas race. We only do, in our Big Ten Cup Series, we only do 200 miles here, but long race tonight. Fuel run will be about 22 to 25 laps. So we're going to see a lot of pit stops, especially in that last stage. Getting on and off pit road will be very important, especially considering everybody's running the high side. It's different coming to pit road from the outside than from the inside. So we might see some mistakes there. And also, we just always see pit road mistakes week in and week out, so we'll probably see them anyway. Hey Ruby, how long we got?
What's up?
How long you guys got?
We're still waiting on Scotty to come. The biscuit is kind of like saying that he's gonna wait, so
Alright, yeah, that's fine.
got a customer 7 minutes ago, so hopefully he doesn't take too long.
Alright, so they're still waiting for Scotty to join up. Oh, he's saying he's got 4 minutes left just on his update.
They don't want to be, robot.
Alright, so last week, Truck Series was at Talladega. Won by Scotty Jr., getting his first win of the season, clinching a spot in these Hooters Truck Series playoffs. Also clinched are Ruby the One with a win at Daytona, P. Colligator, who has 2 wins at Atlanta and Michigan, and the Biscuit, who won at Dover. So they are all clinched in. And then Seasoning is also in a playoff spot. He's got the most points from non-winner. And then Raceworks and, D44 and Scotty D are tied in 6th and 7th. And then I believe Raceworks holds the final playoff spot. Yeah, Raceworks holding the final playoff spot by 6 points over Bubba, who's not racing tonight, but 14 points over Ratliff, who is racing tonight. So we'll see if Ratliff can gain on Raceworks at all, or even maybe get a win and lock himself in. Again, after this race, there'll be 3 races left before the playoffs: Texas, Richmond, and Darlington. Which, Darlington being the cutoff race, could make for a dicey situation. And then, as you can see on this daily fast lap leaderboard, P. Colligator earlier today ran 31.7, which was a little faster than the pole time that you can see Ruby ran at 31.8, but P. Colligator did not hit that in qualifying, so he'll be starting second. Ruby's been very impressive with his qualifying speed, with his race speed this season. He'll be looking to get a win tonight, get those important 5 playoff points that can help him get to the championship 4. P. Colligator leading the way with 14 playoff points so far through 5 races. Scotty's a few minutes away still from joining. So how about 704 finally providing us with the Indy Road Course in their update today? Better late than never, I guess. They still don't have the promised updates to the broadcast system, to the spectator system, which would make broadcasting a much easier job. So I know there's a lot of league racers that are hoping for those spectator editions, so hopefully 704 can get on that next, but at least they gave us the Indy Road Course. I'm excited to try that out later. I've heard it's very challenging, which it looked challenging in the Xfinity and Indy races there. The second Big Ten racing season, like I said, will start October 28th on a Wednesday with Xfinity action from Daytona. It'll be a 20-race season, 7 race playoffs, 10 playoff drivers. Should be a very fun time. Alright, Ruby, you there? Alright, cool.
He's loading in now.
Alright, so we're only a minute away from starting here. So, Scotty Jr. late join, delaying the start of the race. So if you stuck around,
Look good on your invite.
thank you very much. Yeah, I still got the invite. Alright, now I got a second invite. Alright, just let me know when to join.
How many seconds do you want left on the clock?
Just whenever you see the loading screen, then that should be good for me. Alright, so Scotty has finally gotten into the game. He'll be joining the party momentarily. We'll get racing from Kansas. Thanks for sticking around for 20-minute or so delay, but we'll get going, have some exciting truck racing. We'll see, like I said, the three favorites for this race, no particular order, have to be P. Colligator, Biscuit, and our pole sitter, Ruby the One 818. And then, as a reminder, Ruby on the pole in the number 32 truck, P. Colligator will be in the number 87 truck, Da Biscuit in the 98, Seasoning will be in the 51, Scotty Jr. will be in the 24. You'll have Ratliff in the 99, Raceworks in the 20, and then Scotty D, if he joined, he'll be in the 10 truck. So we're missing D44, who normally drives the 3. We're missing Bubba Chafin, who normally drives the 2. So they're going to miss out on points and really need a strong finish to the regular season to make the playoffs.
There's gonna be a new racer. They don't know exactly what number he's gonna pick yet, but I guess during this waiting time, someone just joined in and now he's gonna be racing with us. So they just sent an invite, so he's gonna be joining us soon.
Alright, what's his name?
Let me check this lobby real quick.
Alright, so more breaking news. Because we love to get these pre-race breaking news articles. We will have a new member.
789 is his name.
A new member of the Hooters Truck Series, Caleb Hunt 789, will be making his debut tonight. We will update you on a truck number when that information is available. But he'll be starting in the rear with Scotty and Seasoning, who were late joiners.
Okay, he couldn't get it in time, so they said fuck it. So he's not there. But maybe next week.
Oh, never mind. Alright, never mind, guys. He will not be racing this week.
It's like last minute shit.
Alright, well, hey. When you're sitting around just waiting for a race to start, you might as well get false breaking news, right, guys?
False breaking news. And then he can join us later because we're still waiting.
Alright, you know what? We'll just find out if he's racing whenever we join. Whenever the race starts, I guess. You can tell we run a very professional operation here in the Hooters Truck Series, presented by Big Ten Racing.
I mean, you should have set him up.
Also remember about the Hooters Truck Series, we only use slider setups. So that time by P. Colligator at 31.78 with a slider setup, a very impressive mark from that 87 truck. It's something, I mean, you can see my personal best up on the screen there. It's only a 31.85. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and join the race now.
Yep, we're getting this loading screen now.
Alright, so it looks like we have 8 drivers here. Got Scotty D, but we did not get the new Caleb Hunt, so we will put that story on hold till next week. So Ruby the one on the pole. Let's see what he's got for these guys at Kansas. In case you forgot, in the 20-minute wait, we are racing at Kansas. Alright, so this first stage will be 40 laps. Probably see pit stops around lap 20 to lap 25. And there is Ruby. Trying to hold the lead through 1 and 2 on the inside. He comes up. Colligator hanging strong on the outside. And we have the nice tire glitch happening right now. And now Colligator at full speed with the outside lane should be able to clear Ruby off the turn. Now here comes Biscuit following for second. And Seasoning's going to make a move for third. Maybe go 3 wide. Oh, he pushed it 3 wide. 3 wide for second. Contact. Biscuit in the wall. The 99 of Ratliff takes advantage. Ratliff makes a little contact with the 51, and now Ratliff is up to second. And Colligator just trying to drive away from these guys, beating and banging on each other. As we complete lap 2. Colligator then Ratliff. Ruby to the outside to make the pass for second. Ratliff drifts up in the middle of the corner and he's just going to get beat on exit. That high side, you're going to see it all night. Scotty going to try and make a move low for third. That might not work out. Oh, he's hanging strong there. But on corner exit, that outside line is just so much better. Ooh, Ratliff hits the wall. Still not enough of a run for Scotty. And you've got Seasoning trying to take 4th place. And that that tire glitch is going to be distracting all night. I'm sorry about that. That's a NASCAR Heat 5 issue there. Seasoning making the move for third now after Ratliff got it to the wall, but you can see he can get a little ground on entry and then middle off all about the high lane. You're going 5 to 10 miles an hour faster on that high side than you are on the bottom or in the middle, and you're just going to see that high line prevail every time unless somebody can pull off a very impressive slide job. And there's Scotty tapping the wall a little bit. He's back in 5th place. Got Raceworks back in 8th place. Seasoning running 4th. Scotty D sitting in, I believe, 6th. And Scotty Jr. trying to get past Seasoning on the inside. He's going to back off. Ooh, he might be clear, and he does clear Seasoning. So Extra Seasoning unable to make the move. And now Scotty D looks to the inside of him. Seasoning taking another look inside Scotty Jr. and they make contact. Meanwhile, battle for second. Ruby holding off Ratliff right now. And Ratliff hasn't been in too many races, so he really needs to earn stage points, or maybe get a win. Try and lock himself into the playoffs here. He is right on the back of Ruby, who goes low in 1 and 2. Interesting choice from Ruby the 1. We'll see if Ratliff can get that run off the corner. He does. Gets to the outside. But Ratliff in the wall. That should allow Ruby to hang on to second for the time being. You see Scotty Jr. trying to hold off Scotty D for fourth place, and Biscuit taking advantage. And Scotty D just made that move inside, trying to pass Scotty Jr., and Biscuit jumps to the outside, and he's going to take fifth. Or sorry, fourth. Yeah, fifth. Ooh, Scotty D might have gotten up into the wall on the exit of 2, so Seasoning's going to try and get past him here. And now Biscuit has to try and find a way around the 24 of Scotty Jr. And you saw he got off to a rough start, got put in the wall when they went 3 or 4 wide battling for second place. And it's hard to pass at these one-lane tracks, and it's even harder, I think, to pass when that one lane is the outside lane. Biscuit all over the back of Scotty Jr. for fourth. Looks low. Pulls a little bit ahead, but he is gonna... Oh, he might clear on exit. He tried. Scotty Jr. crosses him over. Now, can Scotty Jr. pull a slide job into 1 and 2? No. Biscuit's gonna hang on. An impressive move on the inside to take fourth place by the Biscuit, 30-47. You can see Scotty D and Seasoning still battling back there. That is 6th place. Seasoning has the outside line into 1 and 2. And he's going to pull ahead of the 10 truck. And you see just yards him on exit, but taps the wall. That's the danger here, running the outside. If you make a mistake on corner exit, you're getting right into the wall. And we can see maybe a little bit of lag out of that 10 truck. 51 just dodged the wall that time. He's running back in 6th position. But right now, controlling this race, setting sail. Look at that gap. P. Colligator. Ruby, how many laps into it are we? Alright, thanks. So Colligator, a huge lead right now. As he just completed the 12th lap. We're on lap 13 now. So 28 laps left. We should be seeing pit stops in 8 to 10 laps. Technically, no, they're just outside the fuel window right now. But Colligator, he got the lead from pole sitter Ruby on lap 1. And it's just taken off. Ton of speed out of that 87 truck right now. You can see the line he's running. He's up near the wall, right around those white dashes on the high side. That's where you're going to get the most speed here at Kansas. And then, once again, you're just right up there between the wall and those white dashes. And then down on the front stretch, you cut it down to the apron. Get maybe half a tenth to a tenth of a second by doing that. Then right back up to the wall. And now here back in second is Ruby. He's put a gap on Ratliff for third. And then Biscuit trying to catch Ratliff, trying to make up for that mistake early on. Not really his mistake. More of the mistake of everybody trying to go 4 wide for second place on lap 2. And we know the 98 of Biscuit has speed just about everywhere we go. He's won a couple stages this year. He's won a race this year. He will also be competing in the Big Ten Xfinity Series this season in the 98 car, normally driven by Chase Briscoe. Oh, Ruby's around. Don't know what just happened, but Ruby is around. Ah, Ruby, what happened? So our in-race reporter drops... Ooh, smacks the wall there, too. I don't know what's going on with Ruby. Okay. He said he said he let go of his steering wheel and won a round. That drops him back to 7th. You saw Raceworks was on pit road already. Should be just at the edge of the fuel window. So we'll see if the 20 truck can make up some ground by short pitting. And meanwhile, Scotty Jr., Ruby both hit pit road. With 24 to go. So they'll have a 23 lap run here. And Colligator's about to put Raceworks 2 laps down. You can see a big gap from Colligator back to 2nd place, who is now Biscuit, who got around Ratliff, while the 32 truck, while the 20... Alright, so Seasoning now on pit road. We've seen him use the short pitting strategy throughout the season. We've got Scotty D still on track, so we have 4 drivers who have pit, 4 who have not yet, led by Colligator. He's coming up on some lap trucks of Raceworks, and I believe that's Ruby right ahead of Raceworks. Seasoning just coming back on track. He gets passed by Scotty Jr. But he'll be well ahead of Ruby and Raceworks, who we've seen have trouble earlier in this stage. Colligator, your leader now on pit road with 22 to go. He is followed by Biscuit. Or not Biscuit, sorry, that is Ratliff. Still, I saw a silver truck. Thought it was Biscuit. So Biscuit and Scotty D have not yet pit. And Biscuit will stay out one more lap while Scotty D will hit pit road this time. Very clean, safe entry to pit road. Colligator exiting. So Biscuit may be hoping to trap everybody a lap down, or just get a lot of ground on the other end here, because he will have fresher tires than everybody once he decides to pit. And he'll stay out one more lap. So I believe we're down to just 20 laps in this stage, which is where I would have planned to pit personally. So I don't mind this move from the 98 of Biscuit. I think splitting the stage in half is the right way to go. And now he goes to the bottom in 3 and 4, which signals a pit stop. Here he comes, making sure that he does not speed on pit road. Very clean pit road entry. And we'll try and pick up Colligator here as he gets his lap back right there. So Colligator should cycle back to the lead. With the basketball tires. You've got Scotty Jr. behind Colligator there. Thank you. Alright, so Colligator coming to 17 laps to go right here as he comes through turn 4. With Scotty Jr. behind him in 2nd. And he will yard Biscuit coming off pit road. There you saw the 98 truck. And he drops to 3rd. Should drop behind Ratliff here for 4th. Yep, behind Ratliff and behind Seasoning. So Biscuit dropping to 5th place after that pit stop. He had made his way up to 2nd, waits to pit, and now stuck behind everybody, and now you're going to lose a lot of time just making these passes. Although he looks like he'll make this pass on seasoning relatively easily. Clears him before turn 1. So now he's just going to rely on, I've got a faster truck than you with fresher tires than you, and try and get back up to the front. You've got Ratliff ahead, who looks like he's struggling with the handle of that truck. Biscuit's going to get him pretty easily here on the front stretch. He even gets the outside. Ratliff just pulling over, letting his fellow Thor Sport driver go past. Biscuit up to 3rd very quickly. And he can see Scotty Jr. pretty clearly, but Colgate are not even in his vision. Just a ton of speed for Biscuit right now. Ooh, tried to get to the outside of Scotty Jr. Gave him a little love tap into 1. And he's just got the fresher tires right now. And with that, he can make that move work on the bottom. Even on corner exit, he'll slide job up ahead of Scotty Jr. Grab 2nd place. But you can see a lot of time between him and Colligator right now. How many to go, Ruby? Oh. Oh, Scotty Jr. just wrecked. Not sure what happened to him. We saw him spinning. Looks like everybody got through it. There goes Ruby past him. So we're hearing this started when Ratliff tapped the wall. And from the wall hit Scotty. And then Scotty went around. So now he doesn't have great tires. He's got damage. He's just trying to stay on the lead lap here in this stage. Speaking of trying to stay on the lead lap, here's Raceworks. Back in 8th position. And Colligator not in sight, so well, barely in sight. He's got a full straightaway on the leader, so he should be fine this stage. So that means Biscuit in 2nd, you've got Ratliff 3rd, Seasoning in 4th, and then Scotty D is in 5th. Scotty Jr. just trying to limp his way to the end of this stage. Ruby trying to recover from a spin earlier, running in 6th. It's just P. Colligator's race. But I'm sure that his buddy, the Biscuit, in the 98 truck will have something to say about it when we start stage 2. Although that gap doesn't really appear to have gotten significantly smaller. I mean, Colligator just running a nice mistake-free race. He hasn't really had to battle anybody. Just made that pass on lap 1 and hasn't looked back. And there's Raceworks hitting pit road again, so he goes a lap down. Not really sure why the 20 truck is making a pit stop here. It'll likely put him 2 laps down. And he's only going to get 1 lap back from the stage end. Ooh, Colligator getting close to the wall, but that's as much drama as he's had this stage. Let's see where Raceworks is now. Yep, Raceworks goes 2 laps down. So the 20 truck 2 laps down, and looks like he's way too far back to have a chance at getting his lap back. Yeah, not even in Biscuit's view right here. And Biscuit's about half a straightaway right now behind the leader. And you see he goes a little bit lower than Colligator through these corners. He's got all 4 tires sometimes below that white dash, while Colligator likes to maybe get the left sides down below. Yeah, well, that time the 98 keeps them all high. You see Colligator, yeah, about half a lane higher than Biscuit right now. I don't know if that's just the way their trucks are handling, if it's personal preference. But yeah, his truck way over the white line, especially in the middle of the corner. And yeah, you see Biscuit, he gets lower than the 87 as he takes the line there. That's 4 to go in this stage. And a battle for third has developed between Ratliff and Seasoning. Raceworks there, he's 2 laps down. Seasoning trying to get to the high side, and he bounces off the wall. And that'll allow Raceworks to maybe get past. Although again, not for position. And Ratliff just been hanging around top 3, but you see he's got a lot of damage. He's been smacking the wall, he's been smacking other drivers. Hopefully he can figure out the handling of his truck here in stage 2. And Seasoning going way low there in 1 and 2. Actually gets a pretty good run out of it. And there's Raceworks in the wall. Oh, and an unfortunate occurrence for Scotty Jr. He just blew a tire. You can't see it because the tires are vibrating so badly on the broadcast, but blown tire for the 24 of Scotty Jr. That'll put him at least 1, if not 2 laps down here. Meanwhile, P. Colligator taking, I believe, the white flag here. And yep, Scotty Jr. 2 laps down. He's just got to stay ahead of Raceworks to get that free pass. And Colligator coming around 3 and 4 one more time. And takes the stage win. That'll be followed by Biscuit. And then Ratliff, and you see Scotty Jr. ahead of Ratliff there, so he's able to get the free pass spot, but he will restart 1 lap down, while Raceworks will restart 2 laps down. So, the 5th stage win of the season for P. Colligator as he looks for his 3rd win of the season. Just a dominant stage 1 performance. I expect everybody to come take 4 tires right here. Maybe not Raceworks, maybe not Scotty Jr. Well, Scotty, he's getting the free pass, so he shouldn't bother staying out. Yeah, so we just got confirmation. Scotty and Raceworks 2 laps down. Scotty's in the free pass position, so he'll be 1 lap down. If Raceworks takes the wave round, he'll be 1 lap down. Key Colligator restarting with the lead. Stage 2 underway at Kansas. And a great jump from Colligator. He's going to be able to clear Biscuit easily into 1 and 2. He'll stay on the bottom as they're getting up to speed. And you've got Ratliff moving into second place. They fan out on the backstretch. Ooh, I think that was seasoning in the wall, and then Scotty D smacks the wall as well. Biscuit looks to the inside for second. Scotty D dropping way back. And Biscuit is gonna clear. What a strong move by the 98 truck. Ratliff back in the wall, and again as he went down and hit seasoning. We've got Colligator, then Biscuit, and then how about Ruby? Recovering from his mistake early up to third place here. He's got seasoning right on his back bumper as they enter 1 and 2. Seasoning looks low. Not going to be able to get the move done. Ruby gets a big run on the 98. He's going to look low, or not. Just push him down the back straightaway. Give him a little extra push into the corner, and the 98 tags the wall. Can Ruby take advantage? Looks like Biscuit held enough speed. Unless Ruby can pull a slide job in 1 and 2, he's going to hang on to second. Nope, Ruby's not going to get there. Oh, but the 98 hits the wall again. Seasoning wisely does not go 3 wide. Instead gives the 98 truck a push and takes third for himself. Meanwhile, Colligator once again taking the lead and just driving away. Seasoning all over the 98 truck. He gets to the inside. And then backs out, entering 1 and 2. Did not want to get trapped on the inside and have Ruby get a run on him. Ruby gets a run on him anyway, but now he'll have to go to the bottom. Oh, Ruby smacked the wall off too. Ruby takes a peek inside, not going to get there. He's got a nice gap back to Ratliff in 5th, so he can be a little more aggressive with the 51 truck here. And now Biscuit has closed in on Colligator. So this is a 4-truck battle. Ratliff gaining on them might make it a 5-truck battle. Can Biscuit make a move and take the lead from Colligator? You saw the 51 of Seasoning just hit the wall and lost some ground. Biscuit looking inside. He's gonna get a... Alright, so as we battle for the lead, Scotty Jr. has disconnected from the race. Which will hurt him in points, but luckily he's locked into the playoffs with a win. Still, not what Scotty Jr. was hoping for tonight. Meanwhile, in the lead, Colligator, he's led all race. Biscuit gets a strong run on the inside through 1 and 2. Might have given him some bumper, and Colligator's in the wall. Biscuit's in the lead. Ruby taking 3rd from Seasoning. And now, does Colligator, as the trailing truck, have anything for Biscuit? And will he retaliate to that little tap he got from the 98? And you can just see that draft, especially on corner entry and down the backstretch, will really give Colligator a run on the 98 truck. Closes the gap as they enter 3. Will Biscuit be unpassable now that he's gotten the lead from the 87 of Colligator. Colligator gets a big run down the front stretch. Ooh, he's pulling up there. And he's going to use that draft on corner exit. Colligator to the inside. Biscuit tried to block him. Colligator sends it. Contact, they're both in the wall. Ruby's going to take advantage. Ruby to the lead. Seasoning up to third. He's looking for second. He's going to get it. Colligator with a huge mistake. Biscuit trying to make that bottom work. It's not going to. Seasoning's going to hold on to second. And now Ruby, the pole sitter, has retaken the lead after a horrible stage one. Oh man, and back to that move by Colligator. He tried to pull a slide job on Biscuit and just never came close to getting clear. Put them both in the wall, has dropped them back to third and fourth. Can Biscuit work his way back to the front? This is the furthest back Colligator's been all race. Ruby needs to get away from Seasoning and from Biscuit and just try and extend the lead, try and get a stage win out of it. Biscuit's going to look inside on Seasoning. Made a great move on exit. Seasoning might be able to hold him off here in 1 and 2. Biscuit to the bottom. Can't get clear. But what this does, when they're battling for second, that allows the leader to pull away. And if Seasoning can hold off Biscuit long enough, Ruby's just going to pull away and grab a stage win. Here comes Ratliff into the picture in fifth. Here comes Colligator once again. He gets to the outside of Biscuit. Great move by Colligator. And then he ruins it by putting his truck in the wall. And Ruby's just not quite able to break away from this pack. And if he could, it would be huge for stage 2. Oh boy. Colligator into the grass. He tried to make a move on Biscuit, got really loose. Is Biscuit lagging right now? It looked a little like Biscuit's truck was bouncing back and forth like there was some lag. And that's what might have messed up Colligator. And Biscuit just gave a big shove to the 51, put the 51 in the wall, but then Biscuit runs into the back of him. And now Ratliff is going to make a move for third. He's just sitting here watching these guys make mistake after mistake and trying to take advantage. Ratliff to the outside. He's going to have the advantage on corner exit. And gets clear for third. Biscuit's got to be frustrated right now. He was in the lead. He was clear. Now stuck back here. He just hit the wall in 3 and 4. Back in fourth place. As Ruby continues to lead, although Seasoning has closed the gap. Does extra Seasoning have something for the 32 truck of Ruby here in stage 2? He's holding off Ratliff for now. Biscuit's fallen back a bit. Colligator even further back after his trip through the grass. We may just have a battle for the lead on our hands. You look at Ruby, he's about half a lane lower than the 51. Oh, but the 51 hits the wall. That's going to allow Ratliff to get the run down the backstretch. Here comes Ratliff. He's going to make a move low. can't get there. Now he's going to try it high, and he still can't get there. Good blocking by Seasoning. Can Ratliff keep it out of the wall in 3 and 4? He does. And Colligator, I believe, has hit pit road now. Yep, P. Colligator on pit road. Ruby. Ruby, how many laps? Alright, so Ruby's going to pit this time by. And that gives the lead to Seasoning. So we'll see how this short pitting strategy... We'll see how this short pit strategy works for Colligator and Ruby. There are 18 laps left in the stage. And Biscuit takes second from Ratliff. And it looks like Seasoning and Ratliff are going to make pit stops right here. Biscuit once again going to go long. Ratliff and Seasoning both make it on pit road without incident. And that leaves the lead back to Biscuit in the 98 truck. He did this in the first stage. It didn't quite work out for him. But once again, he needs to find a way to make up ground because he got into it with another driver, got put in the wall, and here he comes to pit road. Oh, not that time. Sorry, his truck was bouncing around like he was about to head to pit road. And Biscuit, definitely a candidate for the fastest truck so far. But just struggling with other drivers. We saw in stage 1, got put 4 wide and got put on the wall. We see stage 2, Colligator makes a very aggressive move on him. Takes him out, drops him from the lead to 4th. Now he's gonna run this run long. And he'll try and make up ground on the other end. Meanwhile, for the lead, this 4-truck battle, it's going to be for the lead once the 98 pits. And currently, Colligator leading, Seasoning second, Ratliff third. Now, Seasoning and Ratliff came in 2 laps after Colligator, so you wonder if those tires, if that tire advantage is going to matter here. Ruby right in the 4th truck in this group, and now Biscuit pits. That gives the lead to Colligator, although Seasoning might have something to say about it down the front stretch. And the 99 truck's in the wall. Ruby's going to get a run underneath him. 87 trucks in the wall. That hands the lead to Seasoning, and then the 99 puts him back in the wall. P. Colligator knocked from the lead back to 4th. Let's see where Biscuit blends right here. And he comes out. There go the leaders. Seasoning, Ruby, Ratliff, and then Colligator, and then it'll be Biscuit in 5th. He is well behind the leaders. Ratliff looking to make a move on Ruby for 2nd. Gives him a tap. Ruby keeps it out of the wall. Hey, Ruby, how many to go? "13 laps to go. Will that be enough time for Biscuit and his fresh tires to get to the front?" Right now it's Seasoning, Ruby, Ratliff, and then P. Colligator. And you see a huge gap between Colligator in 4th and Biscuit in 5th. That going long strategy, that's the drawback right there. You lose a lot of time. You lose about a second a lap when you're not pitting. Back to the front, Ratliff continuing to try to make a move on Ruby. Ruby goes low. Maybe that was just to get away from Ratliff, but that's going to give Ratliff the run off corner exit. Ratliff goes low. Ruby tries to block. And Ratliff made the pass. Oh, but he hits the wall. Ruby's going to get the run down the front stretch now. And Ruby back to second. And right now, Extra Seasoning in the lead. He just likes to see Ratliff and Ruby battle. That's going to help him pull away. Seasoning looking for his first playoff point of the season. And Ratliff going high and too high into the wall. We've seen Ratliff hit the wall I don't know how many times tonight. He's got a fast truck. He's just got to keep it clean. And that's going to drop Ratliff right back into P. Colligator's clutches. But it does also allow Ruby to freely pursue the 51 truck for the stage win. Although it might not be for the stage win because way in the back there, that yellow dot, that's Biscuit. He is coming. He's making a move for fourth and clears Colligator, and he's going to clear Ratliff because Ratliff hit the wall. So Seasoning and Ruby, they're battling, but coming up, that 98 truck of Biscuit. We'll see if he can catch them and grab the stage win, but for now, Seasoning hanging on. Hey Ruby, let me know how many laps to go when you get to the line. 8 to go. Biscuit in range here. Ruby gaining on Seasoning. Oh, Seasoning got a better run through 1 and 2, but Ruby's going to get that draft, going to get that runoff. Seasoning right up against the wall. Ruby dips a little low. Seasoning about as close to the wall as you can get right there. He is pushing this truck to its limits right now. 7 laps left. Meanwhile, Biscuit just gets closer and closer, and Seasoning goes over the limit, into the wall. Ruby's going to get a chance right here. Biscuit growing and growing in their mirrors. And now Ruby keeps it out of the wall, just barely. Just 6 laps left. Oh, both of them get right up against the wall. They see that 98 truck coming. They are doing everything they can to keep him behind them. But Biscuit making this long run strategy work. Seasoning right up against the wall. Ruby's going to get the run off the corner. They dive to the apron. 5 to go. Biscuit growing. Ruby's going to take a shot on the inside. Oh no. Oh no, folks. Are you sure it was the 98? That's the 99. Alright, so the 90, which that was close. The 99 of Ratliff flags out. Not the 98 of Biscuit. Oh, they just all hit the wall that time. Here comes Ruby. He's got a shot at the lead. Seasoning able to cut him off. Ruby getting that draft. You've got Biscuit right behind. How many to go? 3 to go. Ruby dives it inside. Biscuit follows. Now Biscuit drifts high. Ruby's able to stay clear in second, but Biscuit's going to get the run down the backstretch. Biscuit dives to the inside. He tries to get them both in one corner. Oh, Biscuit just cleared Ruby. Raceworks hits pit road, once again pitting right before stage end. 2 to go. Biscuit looking inside on Seasoning, who's trying to get his first stage win of the season. Ruby hoping they take each other out. Biscuit to the bottom. He's got the fresher tires. Can't get there that time. Seasoning's gonna hold on and take the white flag. Ooh, Ruby might have gotten into the 98 truck. Ruby with an aggressive move. He wants to get the stage win. He's trying to take second, can't do it. Somebody just spun back there. Believe that's Colligator. Seasoning. Extra Seasoning. Gonna get his first stage win of the year. Win stage 2 at Kansas. Wow, an impressive showing from the 51 truck of Extra Seasoning. Getting his first stage win of the year. Beating Biscuit on fresh tires to do it. Ruby grabs third, Colligator fourth. I believe by process of elimination, Scotty D finishes fifth in the stage. Raceworks is 4 laps down, I want to say. He'll also... Yeah, Raceworks 4 laps down. He'll get the free pass, though. But Extra Seasoning was the story. Winning stage 2. Biscuit once again running second in a stage. But now we will have over 80 laps in stage 3 to decide this winner. Seasoning Ruby, Scotty D Colligator. Ooh, the 51 didn't get a great jump. Ruby still right on his outside. Scotty D's gonna take a peek. Seasoning goes up the hill. They are 3 wide for second. Here comes Colligator through the middle. Ruby in the wall. Biscuit down to the bottom. Colligator's getting a big run down the backstretch. Biscuit all the way to the bottom. Colligator pushing the 51 through the turn. Seasoning holding on. He can't give up that outside, though. Colligator not able to take it away. He pushes the 51 again. Goes to the inside. They touch. They touch again, and Seasoning in the wall. And he's going to drop from first to fifth just like that. Colligator, Scotty D up to second, the highest he's been all race. Biscuit in third. Biscuit getting a big run. He's going to try and take second down the front stretch. Scotty D able to clear him. Biscuit to the bottom. Ooh, contact there. 3 wide. That's going to put Seasoning. Ooh. Incredibly close racing for second right now. Biscuit trying to clear Scotty D with a slide job. He does it. Scotty D trying to hit him with a crossover. And there are 3 wide. Seasoning through the middle. He's going to get second. Biscuit going to try to hold on to third with Scotty D on the inside. Ruby getting a big run. And Biscuit's in the wall. Ruby's trying to come up the middle. They touch. Ruby, I don't know how he kept it straight. Ruby able to hang on to the truck, but he is back in fifth, well behind the battle for the lead. Speaking of the lead, Colligator once again taking off on a restart. It is Colligator, Seasoning, Scotty D, and Biscuit. Here comes Biscuit. He's been the only driver we've seen consistently make passes on the bottom. He gets past Scotty D that time. Behind him, you just saw Ruby pull a slide job on Raceworks. So Seasoning holding on to second right now. We've seen Biscuit be fast. We've seen Seasoning be fast. So this should be a fun battle. But they are both chasing the 87 of P. Colligator, the Stage 1 winner, a two-time Hooters Truck Series winner. Oh, and Seasoning just bounced off the wall in 1 and 2. That gives Biscuit a run. Back into the wall, it looked like, down the backstretch. Biscuit gets right up to him. Doesn't have the move in 3 and 4. He's going to try and make it off of turn 4. Gets to the inside. Seasoning giving him room. Biscuit can't clear before 1. But he can clear in 1. He's going to slide up. Here comes Seasoning on the crossover. For second. Now Seasoning's going to have to pull a slide job on Biscuit. And he makes it work. Can he keep it out of the wall? Biscuit's going to cross him over. Biscuit might get clear before turn 1. No. Gets it clear in turn 1. Here comes the crossover attempt from Seasoning. Biscuit's going to block it. Oh, Seasoning fakes and goes high. Biscuit just able to keep him behind. Seasoning looks low in 3 and 4. And Biscuit in the wall. Seasoning into Biscuit. Oh, wow. Cleared him by an inch. But it's Biscuit into second. Seasoning not going to give up that position easily. Ruby has made his way back up to 4th. Man, Seasoning and Biscuit just had an incredible battle for second, and that's going to be the end of that battle as Seasoning hits the wall in 3 and 4. And now Ruby wants to have a nice battle for third. Gives the bumper to Seasoning. They both keep it out of the wall. Ruby tries to turn inside. Seasoning blocks it. Pushing him down the backstretch. Into 3 and 4. There goes Ruby. Not going to be able to make the move. You can see how close they race. This is just for third place. Ruby trying to make up ground after he almost got spun at the beginning of this stage. And Ruby just keeps peeking inside. Seasoning not gonna let Ruby get to the outside. Oh, he does let Ruby get to the outside. A mistake by Seasoning off of turn 4. And Ruby the one. Gonna take advantage and make the pass for third. And he's coming up on Biscuit, and you have to know Ruby's not going to mess around with Biscuit after what happened at the beginning of this stage. Seasoning dropping back quickly after getting past. Colligator, Biscuit, Ruby, Seasoning. Ruby going to the bottom on the exit of 2. Don't think that's going to get him much speed. They're about evenly spread out from 2nd to 5th. Oh, and Ruby smacked the wall hard off of 4. That's going to cost him a lot of time. That's going to allow Seasoning to get back into it for 3rd. And Colligator, meanwhile, he gets clear of all the battling, he drives away, and he just doesn't look back. Wasn't quite able to drive away in Stage 2, but Stage 3, look at the gap he's got back to 2nd place right now. This is the kind of thing where Colligator's just saying, no caution, no caution, no caution. The only mistake we've seen from the 87 when he was in 2nd place, tried to make the move for the lead, put himself and Biscuit in the wall, but that's not going to be a problem right now. Colligator, Biscuit, Ruby, then Seasoning 4th, Scotty D 5th. Hey Ruby, how many to go? Hey Ruby, how many laps? Alright, well, 68 laps left, coming to 67 this time, and we're gonna let you enjoy the sounds with Crank It Up. And you can hear how, particularly with Colligator, how they're working the throttle in the corner to try and get the most out of these trucks. Try and keep it up against the wall as well without hitting the wall, which we've seen a lot of issues, Ratliff uh, in particular. And Scotty D on pit road, he sped on entry. That'll be a black flag, and that will effectively end his chances of winning tonight. So our pit stops have begun. We have about 64 to go, which is a little earlier than I would like to stop. You saw during Crank It Up, Raceworks hit pit road. And he's been pitting early all night, but that is... Oh, we have a yellow. Colligator's also on pit road. I think it was Seasoning brought out the yellow? We'll need some explanation from our in-race reporter. The leader right now is Biscuit. So Seasoning in turn 4 blew a tire. It made contact with the 20 of Racework, so 2 trucks, that's a caution. So Colligator will have to get its lap back here. Biscuit, Ruby, they were the leaders. They'll pit here. So it looks like we timed Crank It Up just right. Seasoning you see on pit road. For repairing the damage from that tire. And Biscuit beats Ruby off pit road. Raceworks going around again. Looks like Raceworks has gotten 2 laps back now. Alright, so we'll have to go to our in-race reporter and try and sort all of this out, but for now it looks like Biscuit leads with Ruby in second. Alright, can you let me know the running order when you get a chance?
Yeah, right now we got Biscuit first, Ruby B, Ruby second, Exterior Season third, Pico Ligator fourth, and Scotty D fifth, but he's a lap down.
Alright, does he get a lap back or no?
I don't know exactly how that's gonna work. I'll figure that out.
So right now the top 5. Biscuit leading, Ruby in second. Ooh, Ruby just smacked into the back of Biscuit. Anyway, it is Seasoning running third, despite that blown tire. Fourth is Colligator, who got caught on pit road. And you see Scotty D taking a lap back. That will put him on the lead lap, and he will restart in 5th. So we'll go around one more time. How many to go?
60 to go.
Alright, so there are 60 to go. We'll restart with 59 laps to go. Which... So according to my math, with restarting with 59 to go, they will still all need 2 stops. I don't think anybody can go longer than 50 laps on 1 stop, so it'll be 2 stops from here. I would split it into 20-20-19 personally. We'll see what these drivers decide to do as they get green. Biscuit, the control car, has chosen the outside lane, which makes some sense here at Kansas. Ruby will restart second from the inside, then Seasoning, Colligator, and then in 5th, Scotty D. Restart, 59 to go from Kansas. Biscuit finally has the track position. Let's see if he can take advantage. Playing some restart games right now. They're in the restart zone. And Biscuit takes off. Colligator and Seasoning did not get good jumps. Ruby's able to get in line in second. Seasoning dropping way back behind Raceworks. Oh, and Seasoning gets taken out by the 20. Colligator moves into second. Raceworks just absolutely fishtailed and took out the 51 of extra Seasoning. Colligator slowed up there. I'm not sure what's going on with Colligator. I think there's... They're still trying to... Maybe they were trying to decide if that was a caution. It was just one truck around, which should not bring out a caution. Um, but Colligator slowed up like he thought it was a caution. So, a mistake from P. Colligator puts him well behind the 8 ball here. With about 56 to go, I believe, when they come to the line here. It's Biscuit leading, Ruby in second, Colligator third, Scotty D is in fourth, Seasoning running fifth, got taken out on the restart. Oh, Biscuit hard into the wall. That's going to let Ruby gain a lot of ground here. And now you see he stays away from the wall in 3 and 4. A lower line there after Biscuit hit the wall hard in 1 and 2. And then you see the second black dot behind Biscuit. That is Colligator, who restarted fourth, took second from Ruby, but then made a mistake, thought we were going to have a yellow flag. We did not. And he dropped way back, still sitting in third, but lost a lot of time that he's going to have to make up somehow. And we've seen a lot of speed from Biscuit. Colligator won stage 1, Biscuit second in both stages. Your stage 2 winner was the 51 of Extra Seasoning, who on the restart got taken out by the 20 of Raceworks. Raceworks is sitting at least 3 laps down, maybe only 2 laps down, but he made a mistake, took out a lead lap truck. And I'm sure Extra Seasoning, who had a real shot to win tonight after winning stage 2, will be disappointed. You've got Scotty D, who overcame a pit road speeding penalty. Thanks to that previous yellow, it put him back on the lead lap. He's running fourth. Ruby the One is hanging around, not letting Biscuit get out of his sights. He's led laps in both stages. Wound up third in stage 2, and stage 1 he spun out in the middle of the stage. Started on the pole tonight. Entered the race second in points, and having another strong points day, running second. But it's going to be very difficult to run down the Biscuit in the 98 truck. And it's going to have to be maybe pit strategy. We've seen Biscuit run these run this fuel long and lose ground that way. And yeah, now Biscuit's starting to pull away from Ruby, pulling away from Colligator. And he's just got to be mistake-free the rest of this night. But they all will have to make 2 more pit stops. Unless Biscuit plans to run 30 laps without pitting, everybody's going to have to make 2 more pit stops here. And with the speed Biscuit's going, I don't think he's going to make 30 laps. So Biscuit, Ruby, Colligator gaining on Ruby, trying to get back into second. You've got Scotty D well behind in fourth. We've seen some intense racing tonight. Biscuit and Seasoning in particular at the beginning of stage 3 paddled back and forth for second place. And then later Seasoning in the middle of a pit cycle blew a tire. It cost Colligator the lead as he had already made a pit stop. Dropped Colligator to restarting 4th. He currently sits 3rd. Handed the lead to Biscuit. And Biscuit does not plan on letting it go. This is similar to the situation we saw at the Texas playoff race in the Big Ten Racing League, where Extra Vinegar was dominating the race until I was on pit road during a caution, which allowed me to stay out under caution and take the lead, and then held off Vinegar and everybody else for the rest of the race. Got a very important playoff win, and Biscuit catches a caution where the leader for most of the race, Colligator, was a lap down. That gave Biscuit the lead. And now he has run away with it. But there's still plenty of time, folks. 2 more pit stops for Colligator, who is running down Ruby, to try and get back to the front. I don't think we're going to see another yellow as everybody's pretty spread out here, other than that battle for second. Hey, Ruby, how many laps to go?
24.
And there are 44 laps to go, so if they pit right now, they could make it on one more stop in the window to make that move. And Ruby under fire now. Here comes Colligator to the inside. A strong move by Colligator. It's helped as Ruby hits the wall. And Colligator up to second. He is on the prowl for Biscuit. The 87 truck's been in victory lane twice so far this season. He won stage 1. He's looking to get that 3rd win, get 5 more very important playoff points. And there's Raceworks, I believe, yep, and the 20 truck on pit road. Extra Seasoning still has not made his stop, although he's definitely got some damage and probably extra tire wear. Scotty D has not come in yet. So back to the battle for second. Ruby wants to get it back from Colligator. And so far this truck season, you see Raceworks back on the track. You've definitely seen the 98 of Biscuit, the 87 of Colligator, who looks like he's about to hit pit road. Oh no, Colligator up into Ruby. There goes Biscuit to pit road. Colligator right behind. Colligator made up a ton of ground getting onto pit road. And these 2 trucks, the 98 and the 87, they've been the class of the field tonight. They've been the class of the field this season. And here we go. This is a battle probably for the win. The only one who has had anything to say about that most of the year and tonight is Ruby the One, 818. And Ruby stays out another lap. Biscuit beats Colligator off pit road. But that gap is much smaller than when they came in. A great job by Colligator getting on and off pit road. The 51 of Seasoning is on pit road. The 32 of Ruby is on pit road. So Ruby's going to have 2 lap fresher tires than the 98 and 87. We'll see if that's enough to help him. He'll probably be a couple seconds behind them after staying out. Does Colligator have the speed to catch the 98? He definitely gained ground on pit road entry. There goes Ruby. He's going to be well behind this duo, but he will have fresher tires. As he re-enters. Nice and clean. And you see Ruby lost a lot of time just because when you stay on the track, you're losing about a second a lap with these old tires. So he loses 2 seconds from staying out there 2 extra laps, but he does get the benefit of fresher tires on the other end, which we've seen Biscuit use to gain a lot of time, but that's not going to help if you're hitting the wall in turn 1. Meanwhile, it looks like Colligator is gaining on Biscuit. This is going to be a fun battle for the lead. And Biscuit's going to hit the wall in 1 and 2. This is Colligator's chance. He's going to get right up to the back bumper of the 98. Does he make a move in turn 3? He goes to the bottom for the lead. And Biscuit's back in the wall. Into Colligator. Into the wall again. Colligator is your leader. Mistakes being made by the 98 of DeBiscuit gives the lead right back to Colligator. But this battle is not over. And that's exactly what Ruby wants, is these two to go at it. I believe Colligator just tapped the wall. Biscuit gets the big run down the front stretch. He's going to try to go high. Colligator does not block, and that means Biscuit's got a great opportunity to take the lead back. Biscuit back to the point. And the more these two battle, the better it's going to be for the 32 truck, although Colligator lost a lot of ground right there. And into the wall. So now Colligator's the one making mistakes and giving up ground. It's DeBiscuit 30-47 leading the race. You can see Ruby is gaining a bit, but it doesn't look like it's going to be enough for the 32 truck. How many to go?
32 to go.
And fittingly, there are 32 laps left. So the pit window opens around lap 25. Definitely don't expect Biscuit in then. I think I would take it down to 18 to 20 laps before I make my pit stop. We'll see what the 98, what the 87 do. They are battling each other hard, using up their stuff. They might have to pit a little early. Ruby stayed out longer. He can go a little bit longer. He has made up ground. He might be able to pit at the same time as them and regain all the ground that he lost from staying out long the first time. Oh, Biscuit goes high. He goes into the wall. Colligator coming for the lead. Biscuit wisely did not throw the block on exit. And Colligator back to the lead. And it's really just one of them waiting for the other one to make a mistake. Biscuit's going to get a nice run off too using the draft. And he's just going to give a tap to the 87 truck into the corner. They both keep it out of the wall in 3 and 4. We've seen that bump into the corner lead to the lead car hitting the wall. Biscuit again pushing Colligator down the straightaway. Into the corner. Colligator takes a low entry. And Biscuit's gonna get there. Colligator in the wall. Back to the lead for the 98. And meanwhile, look who's gotten much closer. It's Ruby the One. If these two keep battling, Ruby's gonna be right in the thick of it. 30 to go. These 3 trucks have cleared everyone else by at least a straightaway. Colligator in Biscuit's wake as they head down the backstretch. And Biscuit, we've seen the last couple times Colligator get close, Biscuit has overdriven the corner, put it in the wall, and given up the lead. Oh, and there it goes. Overdrive in the wall. The 87 to the lead, and this time Ruby is in position to challenge for second. This 2-car battle has become a 3-car battle. We've got somebody on pit road. It is Raceworks. Ruby got a run. He's going to look to take second. Goes to the high side. Biscuit just able to make the block. And if I was Ruby, I would just push Biscuit down the backstretch. I would try and get him up to Raceworks because we've seen these two have some intense battling that slowed them both down. Ruby all over the back of the 98 of Biscuit. He's got fresher tires by 2 laps. He has put it in the wall much less than Biscuit has in this run. And they're not really gaining on Colligator right now. Oh, well, they did down the back straightaway. Oh, and did Ruby just get the wall? Yeah, Ruby got the wall. That hurts after all the work he did to gain that ground, to get into this battle. So now Colligator, Biscuit, and Ruby a little further back. Now here's the question. Who blinks first? Who makes the first pit stop? How many to go? There are 23 laps to go. They are in the fuel window. Who's gonna blink first? Colligator holds a solid lead on Biscuit. Then Ruby back there in third. I think if you're Ruby, you have to try and do something to get ahead of these guys. The easiest way to get ahead of them would be to pit before them, but then if you pit before them and they decide to wait you out, go really long, then you're gonna lose all that ground that you made up on the other end. So it's a real risky move. We'll see what Ruby decides to do. But Colligator leads, Biscuit in second, 20 1 lap, 22 laps to go. Biscuit gaining on Colgater. Let's see if anybody tries to pit this time by. They all stay high. They're all going to bypass pit road. 20 to go. 20 laps left. And I think right now, if you're sitting in third, about a second and a half off, you have got to pit this time. It looks like Colgater's going to pit this time. Ruby heads to the bottom. Biscuit stays out. Colgater and Ruby will make their stops. Ruby gained some ground there. But it's Biscuit. He's, of course, going to be the one that goes long. So we know Colgater's going to come out ahead of Biscuit. So they made their stop, 20 to go. They'll have 19 laps on their last set of tires. We'll see how long. That's 1 lap that Biscuit stays out. Sorry, that's 2 laps now that Biscuit stays out extra. Which, I mean, that's costing him 2 seconds. Can he make that up on the back end is going to be the question of this race. And here comes Biscuit to pit road. That's extra seasoning ahead of him. So Biscuit stays out an extra 2 laps. He'll have 17 laps to go on this last set of tires. And meanwhile, Ruby lost time on Colgater. Colgater just crossed the line. So Colgater has a big advantage on Ruby, plus he has fresher tires. So that effectively, unless Colgater and Biscuit really get into it, that effectively eliminates Ruby tonight. And now Biscuit should be coming off pit road here. There he goes. He'll blend between Ruby and Colgater. And Biscuit just has to hope that Ruby doesn't catch him here. And it doesn't look like Ruby's going to be close enough to make that a battle for second. So now Biscuit has 2 lap fresher tires. How many to go?
16.
16 to go. Does Biscuit have enough time to run down the 87 of P. Colgater for the win? There's no more saving, no more strategy. It is just about who's faster than who right now. 15 laps left. You see the orangish, reddish truck of Raceworks. He is several laps down. So he is not a factor, and it looks like he'll pull over. Oh, he's going to hit pit road. Colgater, and then Biscuit. Biscuit looking for win number 2. Colgater looking for win number 3. Ruby with 2 lap older tires than Biscuit falling off here. He just got out executed getting onto pit road by the 87 and the 98. Colligator won stage 2, or won stage 1 actually. Biscuit finished second in stage 1, finished second in stage 2. And now these two racing each other down at Kansas. Biscuit getting really close to the wall there in turn 2. But as long as you don't touch it, that's just fine. And you can see Colligator, that car growing and growing and growing. Biscuit, does he have enough time though? And then once you catch him, can you pass him? We've seen these two race each other hard, make contact when battling for the lead. So is Biscuit willing to make an aggressive move for the win here? Is he willing to make contact to get the win? How many to go? 10 to go. A couple of Ford F-150s racing for the win after almost 250 miles at Kansas. They come to 9 to go. Does Biscuit have enough laps left to get Colligator? You can see Ruby has dropped mostly out of frame. Still a strong run from Ruby, the one who led laps tonight. Really was the only one that could battle with the 87 and the 98 consistently. I think the 98 just got into the wall. A big mistake here. And it's really been off 4 where the Biscuit has struggled the most. And the gap just from that hit on of the wall in turn 4, and the gap has not shrunk these past couple laps. Coming this time to 7 to go. And it's also possible they've been driving long enough on this set of tires that the tires have just about evened out. Now remember, Colligator was also the leader when this pit cycle started. So just because if Biscuit can't catch him in these next 6 laps, that does not mean that his strategy did not work. He started behind. Biscuit getting Colligator looks like getting a little loose off of 2. Biscuit still shrinking the gap ever so much. We have 5 to go this time by. These two have been going back and forth pretty much all season. They've combined to win all 3 of the non-plate races. They've combined to win 7 stages this season. Can Biscuit run down Colligator? Ooh, he just nudged the wall right there. And he is just running out of time.
Ready to go.
Just 3 laps for Biscuit. He's just not close enough. Made a couple of mistakes this run, but I think that gap, the initial gap, was just too much to overcome. Two to go for Colligator. He's been dominant tonight. Made 1 mistake in stage 2. Has overcome it here in stage 3. And he takes the white flag. 1 more lap at Kansas. In the Hooters Truck Series, the Digital Ally 250. They've gone the full 250 miles. P. Colligator has led the most laps. He won stage 1. He comes through 3 and 4 one more time. P. Colligator, your winner at Kansas. Followed by Biscuit. And then there's Ruby, not going through the grass. I believe Scotty D will wind up 4th. Extra seasoning 5th. So P. Colligator, your winner from Kansas. We will now try to get some post-race interviews, so please stay with us here on the Hooters Truck Series,
Stay with us.
presented by Big Ten Racing. Nice long broadcast tonight.
Yeah, I think next time we should just wait. That was terrible. Hopefully next time is better.
Alright, so we're just waiting for P. Colligator to join us here after his impressive win at Kansas. Colligator, welcome.
Hey man, how's it going?
Good, good. Congratulations, man.
Thank you, thank you.
So you had the best truck all night. I mean, what do you do at Kansas, do you think, that just made you better than everybody else?
I honestly don't think I had the best. There's a couple, Biscuit, Seasoning, and Ruby. We're all pretty equal there. I think the difference though was my consistency. They kept seeming to hit the wall and get a little loose coming off, and I was just able to consistently lap in, lap out, hit my spots.
Yeah, hey, not making mistakes is key, but you did make a couple mistakes tonight. So that
Oh
instant
yeah.
in stage 2, you tried to take the lead from Biscuit. Can you take us through that?
Well, there was 2 in stage 2 that I messed up. That one, right there, I was messing with Biscuit, being my buddy, He had bumped me and put me into the wall to take the lead, so I was going to do it back to him, but I did it way too hard. And then, later on in that stage, or maybe it was stage 3, I can't remember, but seasoning. I went to pass seasoning, and he was on the high side right up against the wall, and I guess my car just got sucked up right into him. I couldn't get off of him even when I was out of the gas. So I smashed him. But at least we got a caution so that didn't mess him up.
Yeah, I think I missed
I'd
that one,
felt
but
terrible for that one. Yeah.
so in stage 3, there was another time seasoning spun on a restart, and then
Yeah, I slowed down for the caution.
right.
I saw seasoning falling back, and then I heard Raceworks mentioning that he was in it, so I just assumed it was a caution. And I said, "What is that, a caution?" Like 3 or 4 times, and nobody said anything. So I just went back to race.
Yeah, I think that's just not having Scotty to do race control right there.
Yeah, I
Kind of
was
hurt
afraid
you.
my mic wasn't working when I kept saying hello, caution.
Yeah, I don't think anybody wanted to make the call.
Yeah.
But hey, so now you have 5 more playoff. You actually earned 6 playoff points tonight, which I believe gives you a season best 20. How do you feel about your chances to make the championship 4 now?
Well, I don't know exactly the format, but I'm sure that if we're keeping track of them, they must count. So I'll just try to keep on racking them up. That's all I can do.
Yeah, hey, just keep doing what you're doing, man.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, good night.
All right, you have a good one.
All right, we'll bring in Biscuit now. Hey, Biscuit.
Hey, bud.
So I just talked to Colligator. He said he felt that you and him and a few others had basically even trucks tonight. What do you think was the difference for Colligator?
Uh, what's the difference? I mean, he's good at Kansas. I mean, not that I messed up pit strategy. I was thinking, try to get him a lap down and then let's go from there. Stage 1 didn't work out. Stage 2 kind of worked out for me when I came back through the field. And happy for season to get a stage win. I wasn't a pass him. I got a stage win, got a win under my belt. I don't need as much as I want to. I know he needs playoff points, so I'll just hopefully he'll return the favor to me one day. But I mean, other than that, I tried my best to run him down. Yeah, I was running that high lane and I hit the wall, but I mean, other than that, Gator was the man to beat.
Yeah, he was very strong tonight. I mean, everybody was knocking down that outside wall, it seemed. So I wanted to talk to you a little about your pit strategy because you seem to be a contrarian with your strategies. So why is it that you like going long all the time?
Um, I like going long because I know, like, type 3, I can not manage it, but I can play a game. So I figured them two pit, let me go, and I worked on my truck, got my tire wear even to where it's dead on. And so
Right.
50% with 4 laps to go. I was like, well, I'll just keep on riding until I can't ride no more. And stage 2 helped me out. Stage 3 was kind of backfired on me. I short pitted one time, and I was like, well, we'll just ride this one out and see. I'm a believer in I'm gonna ride it out. 2 laps to go on fuel. That means I have 2 more extra laps, fresher tires, and 2 more laps of fuel than everybody else. At the end of the race.
Yeah, and it looked like you were gaining on Colligator at the start of that last run, and then by the end it pretty much evened out.
Yeah, I wore my tires down too much. I made an adjustment I shouldn't have made. Put more tape on it, trying to, get it more loosed up. And
Hmm.
that's what kind of killed me. About 10 laps to go, I was sitting at 2 seconds, and I knew I couldn't catch him. So I just trying to maintain the gap between me and Ruby.
Yeah. All right. Well, hey, second place. Nothing. Nothing wrong with second place. Congratulations, man.
Oh, thank you, bud.
All right. Have a good night, and I'll probably see you Wednesday.
Yeah, I'll see you Wednesday.
All right. Okay, and we'll get Ruby in here for one last interview. Hey,
Hey,
Ruby.
Mountaineer.
Hey, first of all, thank you for being the in-race reporter tonight.
Oh, no problem. It was fun. Kind of complicated. I don't know how you guys do it.
Yeah, I did it a couple times now for the Xfinity preseason, and it's tougher than I thought it would be.
Yeah, it was tough. I was like, I have you on mute so that way you don't hear too much of our conversation,
Right.
and it was crazy.
Yeah, I was just trying to not ask you too much, so that you could just drive, but gotta get some information.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, so you came in third. It's a really nice run, but Biscuit and Colligator beat you again. What does it take to beat those guys at a non-plate track?
Outsmarting them. They like to tag team. They're like a team in here. So it's like you're not just facing one person. You're kind of facing two and one. So they kind of use their own strategy. They play a lot together, which is fine.
Hmm.
But it's just out strategizing them, and the only real way to beat them is to practice more and to learn the tracks and learn how I can get faster and stuff.
Yeah, so I was talking to Biscuit about strategy because he's definitely on the extreme end of strategy. So you went the Biscuit route there in stage 3. Did you think that worked out for you?
I was hoping so because I knew I wanted to last on the long run, so longer tires. I was hoping for fresher tires for the shorter period of time. And then that last pit stop, I tried to go with Cola. I don't know what they did differently on pit road, but they just dominated on pit road compared to what I did.
Yeah, Colligator definitely opened up a huge gap on pit road there, which,
Yeah, I
it
don't.
was kind of disappointing for me to see.
Me too. I was really disappointed because I was pretty close going into pit road, and then he had a 4 second gap when I came off of pit road. I was like, wow,
Yeah,
no
yeah,
catching
that
this guy.
hurts.
Yeah, definitely.
So, I think from what I've seen, you've been the only one that's able to consistently compete with those two guys. Uh, so do you think you can get another win here this season?
If I do, it's gonna be well played strategy, maybe a little bit of luck, because yeah, those two are my competition mainly in this series. Because it's really hard to pass them. They
Hmm.
just got the game going down so well. So just got to pick up what they're doing and use it to my advantage.
All right, hey, I'm rooting for you in the Truck Series, and I look forward to racing with you some more in the Big Ten Racing League.
Oh,
Have
it's
a
gonna
good
be
night,
fun.
man.
You too. Thanks.
Yep. All right, that is our broadcast from Kansas. It lasted a very long time, but thank you for staying with me. Everybody, have a good night. I'll see you next week.